Good morning, friends. And today, on 4th of December, we are going to see another rubrics. I think you might have heard about our rubrics inconsolable. That means the person who cannot accept the consolation. And now going beyond that, the patient gets aggravated with the consolations. Hannah gets aggravated with the consolations, and with getting aggravated with the consolations, they used to have you feel differently from others, and they are known as sulky patient. Hannah, sulky patient. It is a very common word that we are using in our society. This boy is very sulky. He gets. This person is very sulky. He gets. Angered, or he gets feel bad with the slightest interruptions or slightest remarks or slightest change. So these type of the persons are sulky patients, and today I am going to study about the sulky patient. The word sulky is derived from the adjective sulk, which refers to quite withdrawn, resentful behavior and characterized by unwillingness to speak. They don't want to speak, cooperate or respond. Sulk itself is believed to originate from the Old English that is sulken, or possibly the Scandinavian word that is sulky, which means to be in bad temper, to become sullen. So the term came from in wider use in 16th and 17th century in English, developing from the meaning like morose, ill-tempered, resentful, silent, childish, moody, or defiantly quiet. By 18th century, sulky became a distinct personality description, and someone who not only express rebel, shout, or fight, but instead withdrawn, shuts down, and emotionally and communicates displeasure through the silence and passive resistance. So, unlike anger, sulkiness is quite rebellion, but they rebel in a silent way. They rebel in a silent way, silent protest, and unexpressed resentment. In homeopathic language, the rubric's mind sulky denotes a mental state where a person becomes reserved, gloomy, unwilling to talk, and frequently expresses dissatisfaction through the silence rather than confrontations. So some people when angered, they will confront you, but when persons who withdraw themselves and remain silent and will not obey the word can be taken as the sulky patients. The individual feels wrong, unappreciated, insulted, but instead of explaining or reacting, they retreats into moody isolation. So sulky is equal to silence plus anger and plus depression. So it is the combinations of three: sadness, the anger, and depression. So it is silent anger, passive resistance, and resentful withdrawal. Now, this rubrics highlights the mental disposition, state of the mind. Rather than temporary emotional fluctuations, it signifies a persistent behavior pattern where the mind reacts to conflict, disappointment, or hurt by shutting down. Such individuals may appear outwardly calm but carry inwardly bitterness, suppressed anger, and an unspoken desire for attention or the sympathy. Now, the emotional tone of this type of the patients are low, brooding, and resentful silence. Their expressions are very passive rather than aggressive. Their speech are minimal. They will speak less, monosyllabic, yes, no, I don't want, but this much only, or entirely withdrawn. Then interpersonal contact, create tension without open conflict. Then inner experience, they feel hurted, displeasure, longing for recognitions. So the sulky person does not necessarily lack communication skill. They withhold communications deliberately. By knowingly they don't want to communicate. And silence became a tool consciously and unconsciously used to express the inner dissatisfaction. Historically, in Indian classical homeopathic literatures like Harriman to Kate recognize this emotional disposition as a reflection of internal energy imbalance. The rubric Sulky finds a specific mention in repertory like Kent, Boniface, and later modern repertory, and Western authorities describe sulkiness commonly in children, especially in those who felt criticized or neglected. Then historically, in European temperament, they are known as, they recognize this link, they link this sulkiness with the temperamental children, prone to disappointment, women who suppressed emotional needs, and individual with strong pride who felt insulted easily, and people who with a background of over control or authoritarian discipline. This trait was often interpreted through moral and psychodynamic lens. A sulky child was seen as neglected, a sulky adult as an uncommunicative, and sulky patient as emotionally repressed. In Indian cultures, sulkiness is a frequent phenomena in the Indian family structure. Encourages respect, obedience, and suppressions of open disagreement. Children are often not allowed to express dissatisfaction openly, so therefore they develop the silent protest mechanism. Indian patients frequently express sulkiness in the way like ठीक नहीं ठीक है जैसा आपको सही लगे वही कीजिए है ना पैसिव they accept the passive acceptance with a hidden resentment. Then avoid eye contact, withdrawing from the group activities, lethargic behavior after scolding, and delayed reply or intentional silence. Then Indian homeopathic literatures has often associated those rubrics with offended easily, aversion to company, taciturnity, silent grief, brooding, which connects the deeply to the mind sulky. Then modern understanding unites both streams. Sulkiness is a protective psychological defense shaped by hurt and desire for recognitions. Then psychological features, internal emotional mechanism are like this. Expectations or emotional need, they want some, they have the demand, and expectations are not met, hurt or insult perceived, and retreat into the silence. Then passive aggressive reluctance to interact, and desire to be noticed, confronted or pursued. So sulky patients want others to notice the silence, understand their pain and make amendment. Then defining traits are, they have the withdrawal, behavior or withdrawal, which protections from further hurt. They want to get themselves protected, that not to be hurted further. Silence, expression of dissatisfaction, and then avoidance, fear of confrontations or rejections, and stubborn, hidden ego resistance. So this is anger withdrawal without word, grief without tears, and punishment without violence. So emotional goals of the sulky mind is to evoke guilt or recognitions, to gain emotional compensation, and to maintain moral superiority, and to punish the other subtly. Then clinical presentations, you can see in the general clinical pictures, patients sit quietly, answer minimally, avoid detailed communications, they will only communicate in 1 or 2 words, then speak reluctantly or grudgingly, then appears resentful, disappointed or withdrawn, and emotional closure, eye downcast, lips tight-lipped, tightened, and slow dragging voice or long pausing before they respond. Then verbal indicators are they speak less, but when they do, common themes are leave me alone, nobody understand me, what is the point in talking, and everything is useless, I don't want to discuss it now. Then case-taking observation should be that you should observe that feeling of upset like the silence. Why are you not talking? The sulky patient will say nothing. If you ask the patient, what are you feeling upset? They will not reply anything. Why are you not talking? They will not say nothing. Are you angry? They will say no. And should we continue later? They will silently search. Now, cross-reference I can make with the morose. This is sadness, gloomy, moody, but necessarily resentful silence. Mind, sulken, very close to sulky, but deeper hostility and more fixed disposition. Taciturnity, it is habitual silence and not necessarily resentfully. So, continual thinking over insult, sulky may be more brooding. Then offended easily. Sensitive ego, sulky is the resulting reaction. Element from mortification. The sulkiness is the follow-up of the emulation. So after mortification, the patient may become the sulky. They have the aversion to the company. Sulky patients, you may find that they don't, but it is not sulky what attention, but aversion, they don't want attention. Obstinate is sulky may be obstinate, but obstinate need not be sulky. So you have seen that sulky is silent protest, is dark inward anger, taciturnity in habitual quietness, brooding, continuous ruminations, while sulky is a selective emotional shutdown. Now, some of the medicines that can be very useful, it is Natrum muriticum, silent grief with deep resentment, avoid consolation, remember past insult, and tears they weep when alone, and suppression in public, indifferences, withdrawal, and unapproachable. Sepia patient irritability due to hormonal and emotional overload, and aversion to family despite love, and want to be left alone. Expression, don't interfere me. Then calcaria, false, school-going children who sulk when denied wishes, and they easily offended, desire for appreciation, and resentful silence after scolding. Then antimony, antim-crude, it is childish and peevish sulkiness. So does not want to be touched, spoken to, or interfered with, react with by withdrawing and irritability. Pulsatilla is sulky when neglected, wants emotional attentions, and craving affections but indirectly expressed. And most people much weeping but also silent approach. Chamomilla are sulky with anger, intolerant of pain, cries for the object and throws when it is given. And sulkiness is mixed with the defiance. Lycopodium, pride-driven silence when contradictions, refuses to admit weakness, and sulk to preserve ego dominance. So these medicines are very important, but there are other medicines like Ignacia, Staphylococcus, carcinosin, phosphoric acid, Baritacarb, medorinum, and many more in your repertory. Now, you can go for the miasmatic analysis is also necessary. Soric sulkiness is sensitive to hurt, and sensitivity to hurt, withdrawal due to insecurity, and emotional hunger, longing for the sympathy. Then psychotic sulkiness is suppressed guilt and secretive resentment, ego protections and emotional deceptions, and internal brooding with obstinate questions, obstinate quietness. Then syphilitic sulkiness are destructive internal anger, withdrawal leading to self-harm or hatred, and dark hostility and emotional shutdown. And tubercular modulations is that rapid shift between sulkiness and rebellion. They can also, sometimes they rebel, followed by the sulkiness, or sulkiness followed by the rebels. Then restlessness, dissatisfaction with emotions. In practice, most sulky behavior are soric psychotic with deep emotional sensitivity plus silent ego defense. Now, how you can check during the case taking? Identification stepwise methods I am giving you. Checklist for the recognition is that you have to see the behavior. Do they withdraw into the silence when upset? Their response is a communications minimal or withheld intentionally. Then motivations, are they silently demanding recognitions or compassions? Ego, you have to see that what is the state of the ego. It is pride preventing open expression of heart. And relationship pattern, do they punish others through the silence? This is also very important. Sometimes people don't talk because they want to punish others. Then technique to elicit transformations, you have to build non-intrusive trust, avoid direct confrontation initially, allow a space for it. You have to give some time to them, and you have to keep in a breakdown positions, in different sessions. So allow a space for expressions without pushing. Ask gentle, reflective questions. What would you like? How would you wish instead? Then how did you feel when that happened? So usually sulkiness is not revealed directly; it gets revealed gradually. And you can find this patient. It takes time to understand the sulky patients. Now, the sulky patient has got the deep essence, and it is an intricate emotional landscape. It is neither mere sadness nor overt anger. It is quite battlefield inside the patient. The sulky patient does not shout, does not break, does not confront. They retreat. Silence becomes the wall and simultaneously the message. Essential natures are like that: silent hurt, upset anger, unspoken anger, passive protest, and expectations of recognitions. They want that somebody should recognize them, and defensive emotional withdrawal. And understanding this state, you can help the patient to decode the hidden emotional pain, then identify suppressed anger or ego of the wounds, and observe behavior rather than rely only on words, and guided remedy can be guided with the miasmatic understanding. So Sulky patient teaches us one of the most profound lesson in that case taking. No ever emotions speak loud. That means emotions are not always verbal. They are silent also. Sometimes silence screams the loudest. Sometimes some people are with you, and when they are silent, you will feel that there are something is going on. So it is like shouting, screaming in a loudest way, but silently. So to treat the sulky mind and to interpret silence with empathy, to hear the echo of unspoken words and deliver minimal that restore communication, emotional, sulky and inner harmony. So friend, I have tried to explain you this sulky rubrics. This is a series of the last rubrics that was inconsolable. That means not to be consoled. And now this is sulky. They don't accept the nearness. They only want to be left alone, and they want to show that I am not happy with you. This is very important. I am not happy with the situations. I am not happy with you. I don't feel better with you. And you don't, silently, it is non-verbal protest of the people by saying this silently. This is very important, and there are many patients like that. And even if they are not protesting before you, they will protest in the family. So friend, this is important things that you have to learn communicating with the patients, and to develop the patience in observations. These are very important phenomena for our understanding. So with these words, I conclude this session, and will be back with the next session next time with another rubrics. And let me tell you that this rubric, this lecture is also available in Hindi, will be also available in Hindi on the YouTube channel. So you can visit my YouTube channel where there are many more such rubrics. I think it may have crossed more than 300, 400 rubrics, and more than 900 YouTube videos are available there. So you can watch them, you can listen them, and you can share them and subscribe them and get more information from them. So thank you, and wish you all a very happy learning period. Thank you very much.